Hello, welcome back. Now that we got past all of this, we can get to the topic of this video, and that's going to be my new 2x72 PHEER grinder. It's a model PH454, and I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit about this thing, and then we're going to get on to finish grinding these knife bevels in. So let's get you over here and show you what this thing is made of. Alright, so here is the PHEER PH454, and it's all plate steel, 1/4 inch thick, nice strong spring right here. This is your tracking control. The platen here, all the bearings roll really nice. This is 1.5 inch, looks like solid aluminum square stock that holds the platen into the frame. One thing I went ahead and did, this had a steel face right here, steel working surface. It already had some grooves in it when I bought it, so I went ahead and got me a piece of glass on the front of that to eliminate having to deal with wearing down that steel right there, because it actually does wear down pretty fast. Again, here's your tension control, and this is your motor. This is actually a 3-phase motor. It can be hooked up to 208, 230, R480. That's what the motor is rated for. But it has actually has a inverter up here that converts. Right now it's hooked up on 240, so it's actually converting the 240 single phase. It's inverting that into I guess it's like splitting a phase or something. But it's getting 3-phase power that I need to run this motor. And this inverter can actually be programmed to run on 120. So that's all internal to the box. Pretty sure it can be converted to run on 120, but I had 240 in the garage, so I just went ahead and went with that. Because actually when I bought the grinder, it was already set up for 240 single phase. This is also a speed control, and give you a wide range of speeds, to all out fast, all the way down to less than 1,000 rotations per minute. Really slow it down, and that's really what I needed in a grinder. I've been making a lot of kitchen knives and fillet knives and things that you typically want to get a lot thinner. I'm using thinner stock, so I'm able to do a lot more belt grinding after the heat treat without having to worry about heating the blade up and putting hot spots on the edge and ruining the heat treat. So I've already made 3 knives with this. I've kind of gotten used to how it works, and I figured it was time to go ahead and debut this baby. I actually got a really good deal on it. I mean, it still wasn't cheap, but I actually got a really good deal for 2 reasons. The guy that I bought it off of had it on Facebook Marketplace, and he was within an hour from my house, so I was able to just go get it, look at it, and bring it home the same day. So that was yeah, that was a surprise. That was yeah, I got really lucky on that one. But you can actually, I don't have any other attachments for it. I might look for some in the future, but you can unscrew this and pull this out, put a wheel in, this, that, and the other. I might look into getting some more attachments in the future. But for right now, this is what we're running on. And like I said, I've already made 3 knives, and I was able to grind those knives to a smooth finish with finer grit belts at lower speeds, and that the knife builds on those last 3 knives, they involve 0 hand sanding. So that is just fantastic. Saves my fingers, saves my neck, saves my shoulders, and it saves a lot of time. So I went ahead and cut these 2 blanks out that you saw me working on in the beginning of the video. It's going to be 2 fillet knives, and we're going to go ahead and grind some profiles, not profiles, but we're going to go ahead and grind some bevels into both of these knives, get them through heat treat, and then we're going to finish them off with the finer grit belts. And that'll probably pretty much be the video. This is thinner stock. It's coming in like right at 1/8 of an inch thick, so the preliminary grind is going to be kind of fat. Just kind of get it through heat treat, and then we're going to finish off the fine grinding after heat treat. And that's where this thing's really going to shine, because I can really slow the belt down, get it to the speed, you know, where I want it, where I can still take material off, but not risk ruining the heat treat on the edge. So I'll go ahead and shut up and go ahead and get started. But before we do, I'll bring you around and we'll power it up and we'll get started. All right, so when I bought it, this is how he already had it wired up. He just has it wired up with a 20 amp 240 plug. I was thinking about converting it to hardwire, but I just went ahead and went with the plug. I figured that's the way he was using it for the time he had it, and he gave him no issues. So instead of putting a box right here and just hardwiring everything, I just went ahead and put a plug in. It does have a main shutoff, and this is how I'm going to turn it on. I try to keep it shut off, especially with all the thunderstorms we've had. We have a lot of power issues, so I don't want anything coming in here and ruining this thing. If you like any kind of a power surge or anything, pretty much all you do is just turn that on. It's going to power up. Doing a little self check. Right now it's in the stop. You just hit the green. Now we're off to the races. Got your speed control right here. Right now it's at 2800. 4200 is the max. So right now we're at 665, so, and that's rotations per minute, I believe. So I found the sweet spot with this one is between 25 and 36, depending on what I'm doing. It was set at 28 when I fired it up. And to power it now, or let's just stop it, of course you hit stop. Red button, stop. It also has a direction control, not that I would ever use it, but you can actually change the direction that the motor rotates. And right now it's in the stop position. So I would just simply turn this off, and then it's going to power down. It takes about 30 seconds, and then it'll power down. So let's go ahead and we'll throw a belt on this thing and see what we can do. All right, got everything powered back up, got the belt on. Get it running. Looks like my tracking's set and I'm ready to roll. so here's the knife after the preliminary grinding. 60 grit belt, about 1/16 of an inch thick on the edge, maybe a little thin right here. I think we'll be all right though. It's going to go in a heat treat just like this. I'm going to go ahead and grind the other one right quick and get it ready for heat treat as well, and then bring it back then. Alright, so I got both the knives ground. This one got away from me a little bit. Got too thin, way too thin down here. I kind of misjudged the angle. But that's alright, it just wound up a bit narrower. I don't know if you can see that or not. But it's just going to be a thinner knife at this point. What are you going to do? But it's always like that. When you make two of anything, the first one always turns out good. You figure I'll just you know, crank the second one out, and that's when you start getting careless. So anyways, it's still going to be salvageable and nice, so we're going to continue on with the heat treat. Alright, we'll do the skinny one first. So everything's cooled down, I can touch it now. Both blades are skating the file. And I went ahead and stuck a screw through here and just clamped it back here in the thickest part of the blade. I'm just going to try to keep them straight as possible, and this will help keep it straight while it's in the temper. So go ahead and get this in the oven and bring it back in a couple hours. So both of the blades went through temper. I tempered them at 450 degrees for about 2.5 hours. And now we're getting ready to do the finish sanding. Right now I got a 220 belt on. I'm just going to kind of use that to knock off what's on the top here. Then we're probably going to switch to a bit finer. So I'm going to start with the thinner one because the blade the edge is a little bit off center, so I was wanting to fix that before I got onto the other one. But we're going to go ahead and just finish up with the thinner one and see how it goes. Alright, so let's go. I think I'm going to run this around 2300 RPM, see how that feels, and Alright, so I switched to a 120 belt. There's something a little bit wonky on this side right here I'm going to get out. we got the blade done, and I started off with the one I screwed up just to see if I could get it right, and I think I got it to where I needed it to be. This is off the belt sander, 600 grit. I was wanting to do a belt progression to kind of show, you know, how that works or whatever. But like I said, I have made 3 knives with the belts that came with the grinder, and I also practiced on a bunch of old knives that I've made in the past, just regrinding them. These are knives I just kind of have hanging around in the shop. They're just kind of junky knives that are really old that I made a long time ago, or something wrong with them, so they're just not for sale. They're just kind of turned into shop knives. But I practiced on those. Then I made 3 new knives, and all the belts that I had were pretty much worn out. I started off with a 220 grit, and I was going to go to a 400 and then a 600 to finish everything off. But the 220 grit was cutting terrible. These don't look to be like the highest quality of belts. I don't even know if they're ceramic, to be honest with you. But yeah, that didn't work out. I had one brand new 600 left, and I had one 600 that was lightly used. So I just threw the brand new one on and went to town with it. And yeah, everything worked out fine. I got all the scratches out with the brand new belt. Then I came back with the lightly used 600 and just kind of cleaned everything up, put the edge on it, and got her done. So this is right off the belt sanding. There's no hand sanding. You know, I'm perfectly fine with selling a knife with a finish like this. It's a nice even 600 grit finish on it. Looks almost like store-bought, I guess. So I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. I started off with the skinny one first because I had a lot of repair work to do to it. The blade was off center. I got that back on track, and there was some wonky stuff up here up on the plunge line where I didn't get the angle right on one side. So I went ahead and did this one first. I'm not going to be able to do this one until I get some more belts. So some higher quality belts I think we're going to buy, and of course finer grits usually cost a lot more. So I'm going to have me a pretty big belt order going in here soon. I'll probably order some Scotch-Brite belts as well. Get some Scotch-Brite finishes. They always turn out really nice. But I have been really pleased with the 600 finish. As far as the old Grizzly goes, still going to have a place in the shop. Probably going to use that for profiling and probably like heavy metal grinding. You know, something where I don't really have to pay attention too much to finesse. I'm just trying to remove stock. So that's always been a hog as far as eating metal. It'll eat up metal, but that was also one of the disadvantages. You really can't do any fine finesse work with it, or you can, but it's tough. And yeah, you lay it on the belt, you know, wrong one time, and it can ruin your piece. So with this speed control and getting into some finer grits, it's going to be really a huge benefit to the shop, and hopefully speed up production and hopefully get me making some more knives, because to be honest with you, I hate hand sanding. I'm getting old. It hurts my neck, it hurts my fingers, it hurts my shoulders. So in all honesty, yeah, I might start cranking out more knives to get up on the store. So yep, this is the debut of the PHEER grinders, PH 454, and there is a website. It's www.2x72beltgrinders.com. From what I understand, all of these grinders are custom made by a maker, a small business. So if you're in the market for a grinder, I definitely recommend this. I haven't really found any issues with it. I saw some complaints on the reviews that I saw about tracking, and to be honest with you, when the steel platen was on the face behind the belt, yeah, the belt would wander back and forth. But after I went ahead and attached the glass, which basically is a piece of ceramic, the belt doesn't even do that anymore. It's like the ceramic Maybe it has enough friction to kind of keep the belt from zooming across. But yeah, when it was on the steel platen, if you press too hard, the belt would zoom to the left or to the right, depending on which way you were pressing it. But yeah, I noticed after I put the ceramic platen on, that problem went away. That's about the only thing I really did to it. The guy I bought it off of may have done this, but you know, some of the bolts didn't have washers on them. I took all the bolts out and put the washers, the appropriate size washers on them. But that could have been, I don't know if that was from the factory or the guy who had it before. So yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I think it's really gonna take things to the next level around here, I hope, and get some nice stuff going. So I'll get you some pictures of this close up so you can see the finish with some still shots. And I just want to thank you guys for stopping by. And if you made it this far in the video, thank you. I know it's a long video, but and probably a boring video because, let's face it, you know, watching somebody stroke a piece of metal across a belt for 15 minutes is, yeah, it's not a lot to see there. So, but I really did want to give the belt sander the review it deserved. And you know, shout out to the maker. I can't remember the guy's name, but I have been on his website. And yeah, I mean, it comes in a bunch of different options. You know, you don't have to get variable speed. He has fixed speeds. He has 120s. He has other inverters. This is the top of the line one he sells, at least right now or back then. But he has other inverters that will. I guess they're just a speed control. They're not really an inverter, maybe. Maybe that's the difference. But this one is both an inverter and a speed control. So, kind of going in circles now. I'm going to go ahead and shut up, let you go, and see you on the next one.